It is 6:44 a.m. We are packing up camp here just outside of Phoenix to get Kathy to the airport.
We got a call from Abby and she injured her thumb kayaking. So I am hopping on a plane this morning, headed to Memphis, Tennessee to go get that checked out with her and see what we need to do to get it fixed.
Let's go to the big city.
We're here at the airport in Phoenix. I'll see you when I see ya. Adios!
Love ya. All right, it's a boys' weekend. Tucker and we're off to something very special. Something I was hoping Kathy could get to do with us. I think she's kind of happy that I'm going without her because it is gonna be well over 100 miles of dirt road. Sometimes that's not her favorite thing. Here we go. We're leaving Phoenix, we're gonna head south, and I'm gonna take you on a really special adventure. Good morning, Arizona. I'm here with Adam and George, and we are about to blast off on the Devil's Highway, the El Camino del Diablo, and I couldn't be more excited. This has been a route that I've wanted to do for quite a while. The Camino del Diablo is a backcountry route that is about 150 miles long. We're going to do this over 3 days, and it is a wonderful tour through the most remote part of Arizona. There are no services, no amenities, no nothing back here. It's just going to be us and Border Patrol. And we are going to be skirting the border often, only a mile or so from the border. But that's what makes it really fun and interesting, is that we are getting well off the beaten path in our adventure vans, and we're going to have a hoot out there. It's cool to be out here with two other very adventurous Revels Sprinter van owners, and I think we're going to have a blast. It's pretty cold this morning. Our camp is a whirl of timberline heaters. You can just hear them buzzing along. These are our diesel heaters that are built into our vans. And they put off a little sound. They sound like a little mini jet engine going. They kind of, but otherwise it is dead silent, dead still, and beautiful. The sun is getting ready to come up. So let's do it. Let's hit the El Camino del Diablo.
Hey Peter, I'm George, Puck Harbor. I've been on the road 4.5 years, probably 2 of those, last 2 in the Revel. So this is my home, and I'm out here adventuring.
What are you most looking forward to about this trip?
Tacos. I'm always looking for tacos.
Perfect. That's great.
Hey there, my name's Adam, and I've been living out of my rig for about 3 years now. Loving every moment of it. This is Eve, the next level Revel. And we're about to head out onto the El Camino, what is it? El Camino
del Diablo.
Del Diablo. And what I am looking most forward to is the solitude. I like being as far out there as possible.
We're here at what? A dirt road. What does that mean? We're getting ready to air down. So the guys are over here. They are doing the same. Everybody's dropping their air pressure because we are going to be on dirt for the next 150 miles. All the way to pretty much the outskirts of Yuma, Arizona, and almost the California border. What are you doing there, Adam?
It is time to air down. We're gonna lose some,
that's nice.
lower some pressure.
Oh,
so that,
got the end deflate.
Yeah, the end deflate's definitely advantageous.
I like that.
And that way our ride's a little bit cushier
I just have
than it might otherwise be.
So tell me about the end deflate.
End deflate is it's a pretty cool little contraption. So this will equalize the pressure between both tires. It's a little loud, but one can suffer.
All right, George is dumping the other method.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
What do you got here?
This is an ARB.
I usually put mine about 30. Still at it?
Still at it, almost there. But what's really nice. All right, so we've encountered our first little challenge for the journey. We have lost the core to one of the stems.
Operator error.
Valve release, so we're about to lose all the air here.
Ready?
I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that.
You
back
might
in.
stuff it in the ARB and then put it in. Just make sure you have it in the right orientation.
Right. Dude.
Yeah. I've been here. I've done this.
You're not alone. All right, here we go. A little test. That looks like we're good.
So the middle collar is what seats it on the valve stem,
Yeah.
and the little plunger thing is what releases the
That unscrews the valve stem from the core. All right, so I got my rapid dump valve stems from Agile Offroad here, and I'm gonna take this wheel from 70 PSI down to 30. Let's see what that got me. A little more. Goes fast, so you don't want to let it go too long. Gosh, about a pound more. There we are, 30. Perfect. So it's really interesting. We've got 3 van owners, 3 different ways to deflate. I've actually used all 3 and enjoy all 3. All 3 work really good. Rapid deflate valve stems from Agile. We also have the Indeflate device, which is great for deflating and inflating. It allows you to do 2 or 4 wheels all simultaneously, which is cool. Or we have the ARB Easy Deflator, which lets you pull the valve stem and deflate that way too, and that works really good as well. So we're off. All right, so radios are super handy when you're out there, especially with multiple vehicles. It's just a really nice way to be in the middle of nowhere and be able to talk to each other and know what's going on. Right now we're syncing up each other's radios, so we're doing a radio check, making sure that we can send and receive. This is the start of the trail. I've zeroed my odometer here. We are aired down. We are ready, I think. Everyone has water, everyone has empty toilets, everyone has full diesel tanks. We have food, we have all the stuff we need to not only have a great trip, but to support one another and to make sure that we can make it through this journey. So let's do it. Let's go check out the Devil's Highway. The guys are behind me. We are blazing the trail on the first little bit. So far it is a very nicely smooth and maintained dirt road. There's going to be some really remote roads that I assume are going to be really washboarded and chewed up a bit just because of how far back they are. They don't get maintained that often. We're also surrounded by a bombing range. They have warned us to be on the lookout and to not touch any metallic objects or things that look like bombs because there's live munitions out here. It could even be, on the edges of the road. There's bombs that didn't go off and they're just sitting out there. So we got to be kind of careful as we're walking around and as we're exploring that we don't touch anything that looks like a bomb because they can blow up. And we aren't really interested in one of us getting blown up. So, lots of things to consider out here, but that's what makes it a great adventure. And it's so cool that we all have Revel vans and we're all out here with the same capabilities, the same mindset. We're just looking forward to having a good time together. So here's a little call box. If you hit this red button, I guess it sends rangers or border patrol or somebody like that. And but if you're out here as either a tourist or an immigrant and you need help, you've got a way to summons some help. And this is just right next door to this watering hole that we found. It's just right over there. You can see the blue flag. Water. There's an old ranch here at Bateswell. This is pretty interesting. And it's a nice little stop here, so checking it out. Well, the road's getting a little narrower and rockier. I gotta say, we've been through some beautiful little sections of little mountains and perfect little cactus gardens with giant saguaros everywhere. There's been places where there's lots of cholla, and those things, when they're backlit, they look like just they're on fire or something. They're just glowing. This morning there was frost on everyone's vans, and now it's almost 60 degrees. I'm starting to think about putting on shorts. All right, we're here at the National Wildlife Refuge, and we have to fill out this form to enter into the park here. So we'll fill this out. We put one in a box there. I think that helps them understand who's made it through, who hasn't. This is just another part of this permit process. We filled out a permit online that gets us through the gunnery range, and that permit number is referenced here as well. So all these permits kind of work together. Okay, we're at a killer spot for the first night's camp. We're just trying to get all the vans kind of leveled out and in a good spot. We're at this really cool old mine that we're gonna go explore here in a minute.
How's that?
damn close.
Do you want a level? I have a level.
Is this your level?
I got a level, but I just use... Yeah, it's fine.
Is it good?
Yeah, I'm
Your
good.
head's gonna be up?
Oh yeah, I'm good side
Most
to side.
important. All right, good. You golden.
Watch that Choya behind you, man.
Watch that.
Good. Oh. You look comfortable.
I'm comfortable. Yeah, no complaints. Except for this phone. Get rid of that.
Get rid of that phone. We'll go throw it in the mine here in a second.
There you go. Yeah.
The mysterious ghost door. Hey, Tuck. You want to come outside? Do you promise to stay away from the Choyas?
Yeah. This is a ball.
Is that a ball?
Actually pronounced boule, if you want to get really technical about it. So we're just getting ready to start a round of pétanque, which, for lack of a better definition, is French bocce. That's what most people recognize. And we're going to do that here in the beautiful Sonoran Desert.
It's a regulation pétanque court.
This is new American traditional pétanque regulation court. Yes, that is correct.
Awesome.
So there you have it.
All right, let's see it.
So I'm going to throw the ball at the pig.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you mark your spot, which you've done, and we'll all throw from there. So you throw one boule, and then the next person throws a boule, and the third person throws theirs, and then whoever's furthest continues to go. For this initial throw, we will remember our order, because unless you're further, you always keep your order. This is a very short toss, because pretty soon the cushion is going to end up like way out there. I haven't played with the black bulls in a while. So, also, the game is normally played as a backhand throw.
Okay.
You can, in New American traditional, you can do whatever works.
No,
but
but-
from the French version, it's a backhand throw.
Right on. It's all in the wrist. Look at you. You've done this.
I've played. Oh! There it is.
Okay, our pétanque is going full on extreme. We're throwing from where Adam is here, and it is on the opposite side of this bush. Can you see that? You can't even get a direct shot at it.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. That's what we're shooting for, and that's where I made it.
Attention.
Ah!
Oh,
The wrong plant.
it's okay.
Got one more. Yes.
Oh,
Yes!
the crusher. Oh yeah,
Money.
that's pretty good.
Good throw. You knocked me out of the contention.
All right, we're on this ridge that's above our camp. The light is gorgeous. The sun is about to drop. It is so pretty here. We drove off of the main road quite a ways on a really faint road that's listed on our map that goes back to a mine. Are you okay, Adam?
I'm getting a little frightened. I'm getting attacked by all these cactus.
Adam's shaking hands with Ocotillas over here. You only do that once. All right, guys, it's gonna be an awesome night here on the Camino, back at this unnamed mine. We'll see you in the morning.
Good morning.
What the hell are you doing? That's awesome.
Oh, this is my little morning ritual. I do a little singing bowl. to kind of invite the day. And what I really love is I always find, and it certainly happened out here, is birds come around.
Really?
Yeah, they seem to respond to it.
You attract them.
Which is pretty cool. But yeah.
I didn't want to disturb you.
Oh, that's quite all right. Hear the birds.
Good morning, El Camino del Diablo. It's beginning of day 2. We're here at this beautiful camp under the mountain by the mine. Adam's over here playing his bowl, and it's a pretty cool way to wake up is hearing this these sounds that I definitely am not used to hearing here in the desert. And we're about to have another awesome day exploring back here, so hang on. We're gonna do a little camp stuff this morning and then we're off. So we intentionally drove these mining roads back to find the camp that we were at, because we're not driving just off through the desert. We're only staying on designated road, and it took us back to this beautiful place where we camped last night. So this morning we decided we wanted to hike up here and check out these mines. And this one is just a straight shaft going down as far as we can see. We threw a couple rocks down there and they tumbled what sounded like at least 100 feet or more. And seeing these mines just makes you wonder about the people who dug these holes, and being out here in the summer and what that must have been like. That must have been a pretty extreme life. Always fun to explore, and our Revel vans allow us to get out here and not only explore these places, but be in comfort while we're doing it and have everything we need, and really have a great trip. So, all right, what do we think? On to the Devil's Highway?
Devil's Highway.
All right, we'll see you down the road. All right, I'm walking back down here to Dave O'Neill's grave. He was some sort of a miner cowboy who died back here, and I think we're getting ready to learn more about him. But it's one of the more iconic stops that I've saw videos on of people who have done the El Camino del Diablo. Oh, what do you see, George?
There's a lot of little gifts left behind for him.
Oh, cool.
I feel like I should add something
To the experience?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I don't know. I gotta go see. I got something.
Got something. So I guess it's customary here for a lot of travelers to leave a trinket or a token on Dave O'Neill's grave. There's a bunch of coins, there's a golf ball, there's quite a bit of ammo here, and some painted rocks. I got there a 44 mag.
It's pretty serious.
Yeah. In memory of Dave O'Neill.
Well, for Dave, I don't know if this is going to help him. It's a compass, but maybe some other traveler will find some use for it.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, wow. Somebody didn't have change.
Oh, look at the little hula girl.
Yeah, you got a hula girl in there.
Purple hula girl.
It's always fun stopping at these weird little roadside stops along the way, and I guess this one people have been stopping there for a long time because it's literally 8 feet off the Camino. Hope somebody are leaving compasses on my grave someday. That'd be awesome. All right, let's get back to it. All right, we are crossing a lava flow here, and it is definitely the worst road conditions we've seen so far. The road is covered in lava rocks, and then when it's not rocky, it's some pretty deep sand. And then on top of that, there's these overgrown bushes. And so you're kind of snaking through the between the bushes and the sand and the rocks, and it's kind of slow going, but it's pretty neat to cross a lava flow here. At one point, we're just strictly driving on 2 rough tracks through lava, and it didn't even seem like there's a road. But then on the other side, we picked back up with a 2-track road again, and we are on the Devil's Highway. So I guess you got to expect some lava, right? And all of a sudden, we came to a sign that said construction zone, and now we're on a 2-lane dirt road. And I think what is going on here is when they were building the wall back in there, they bulldozed this new road in here, and the Camino is now tamed, at least on this west side. I mean, I'm seeing mile marker signs now, and here comes some semi-trucks. Okay, we're here at Tool Well Camp. This is kind of just a wide spot in the road. There's a bunch of picnic tables, there's a grill, and an old building here, and that's kind of it. So these are these shoes. We found a couple of these around. They're made out of carpet and, geez, old denim or something. And they have these straps. They go on your feet. And I think these are what people sneaking across the border are wearing to maybe keep their footprints at more of a minimum. Let's see here, let's do a test. Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, here it's got.
So here it leaves a little bit of a carpet pattern.
Yeah. Solomon's,
show us the bottom.
Solomon's new shell.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Low track.
All right, we made it to camp number 2 on the El Camino del Diablo. We're out in this kind of open spot, but we're right underneath these beautiful mountains. We're right below Christmas Tree Pass. We've been told that sprinters shouldn't go up Christmas Tree Pass just because there's some overhang that supposedly we can't fit underneath. We're too tall. I've hiked up onto this hillside doing some photography here, shooting down on the vans. Behind me, you can see there's this ridge with all these towers, really serrated. This is going to be quite a different spot than last night, which is really nice. I like having variety in these spots that we stay at. So we have 3 Revel vans on this trip, and it's funny, we have the 3 colors that Revels come in represented. That's kind of cool. All of us are traveling full time. We've all been on the road at least a couple of years, and George has done a big Pan-American trip on his motorcycle before moving into a Revel, so he's traveled the whole length of North and South America on a BMW GS 1200, and did that whole trip, and then he came back and he wasn't done traveling and wanted more, and bought a Revel and has been traveling in the Revel since. And Adam has been traveling in the Revel, I think he's on his 2nd year now, and all of us really love to explore. We really love to get back into these wild places, so it's been kind of a dream team for me to hook up with these guys and come back here on the El Camino del Diablo, being in 3 vans and really do some quality van exploring. We are heading off to our next camp. Shouldn't be too much further. I think it's like 20-25 miles down the road. And we've decided that we're having such a good time on the El Camino del Diablo that we're gonna stretch it into 4 days instead of 3. There's just too much cool places to hang out back here. So we're about to head off to our 3rd camp of the trip. Let's see, we're kind of going through some tight parts here. We're coming down from the Christmas Tree Pass area, and here shortly we'll be back on the main road, which I'm kind of sad to say it is actually more of a road than the trail that we've been following this whole time. So that's gonna be kind of a bummer. It kind of diminishes some of the adventure when it's such a well-blazed two-lane dirt road. We have about 52 miles left on the Camino. We're gonna move on to this next camp that's 25 miles down the road and check it out. Hopefully it'll be just as good and we'll spend one more night there. So here we go. All right, here we are. We're at the famous wall. We're right at the border of Mexico. Look how big this thing is. It is much taller than I thought it was gonna be. I've never been up to it before. I've never touched it. I know there's a lot of places where you can go up to it, but it's just always kind of been intriguing to me to check it out. It's some sturdy metal. It's, gosh, looks like it's in really deep concrete here down below, which is good for a wall. Right there is Mexico. Another fun thing you can do in your Revel van, go south to the wall. Well, 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 look what we found here. We are at the most amazing Revel camp I can imagine. We are right up smack against the edge of this mountain, this big, rocky, craggy granite mountain, and it is beautiful here. We have a cave, we have 3 Revels, and there's even some rock climbing up here. So this is gonna be a fun place to hang out tonight and tomorrow morning. So I'm really looking forward to a great night here. It's gonna be awesome. We have our own little cave. But looky there, it just frames up Eve, the next level Revel, perfectly. Well, this is gorgeous. I couldn't be more happy. Good morning, Diablo Cliff Camp. We're here in this beautiful spot. We had a great night hanging out around the solo stove, chatting, and gosh, the stars were off the hook. So bright out here, there's hardly any light pollution. You see maybe just a tiny little bit of glow from Yuma off on the horizon, but so pristine. I'd love to be here during a meteor shower. And these rocks are just so inviting. As a rock climber, I'm gonna at least get her out and scramble around a little bit today. We are camped right here next to this giant boulder that is full of these big pockets. It looks like a big piece of Swiss cheese. But this will be our last day on the El Camino del Diablo. We only have, I think, 22 miles more to go. We've been milking this last 50, and we slowed down and started really just enjoying some of these camps a little longer. And gosh, I don't know, it's gonna be a little bit of a bummer for it to end, but what a great tour, and I think it's something that I'll come back and check out these places again, if not do the whole route. So talking about the El Camino del Diablo, I think the first part is really exciting, and as you leave Ajo, and saguaros over there are super beautiful and big and everything you want. Then the middle section is where you see a lot of the more technical driving. There's more rocks and ruts and deep sand. And then once you get out here on this main road, we thought the trip was going to be kind of over, you know, or at least less exciting. Couldn't really be more wrong though. The camping over here on this west side is amazing. I mean, we're in these beautiful places and we've passed through quite a few that would be amazing to stop at as well, but you just can't stay everywhere on one trip. So I could see coming in on the Yuma side and just hitting up the first 50 miles or so, maybe even a little more, and camping back in here. If you didn't want to do the whole Camino, or you didn't have time to do the whole Camino, this is a great way to see some really remote, beautiful parts of Arizona that are definitely off the beaten path. The middle section is really only appropriate for high clearance four-wheel drive. There is a lot of really deep, sandy, rocky ruts, and you'll try to drive on the high point of the ground, but they're kind of down in these trenches, so it doesn't give you a lot of maneuvering space, and so you end up driving in the ruts. And if you didn't have decent clearance, I could see that being a really big problem. Our vans being 4x4 vans that already have a little bit of a lift, and then we all have Agile Offroad rip kits on top of that, which gives us even a little more clearance and able to run bigger tires, which gives us a little more clearance than that. It's worked great, but I could see someone coming back here in like a Subaru Outback or something like that might not quite have the clearance they want to get through some of these more rocky, rutted places. Getting the permits for the El Camino is pretty easy. You're gonna go online, you're gonna fill out a form, and you're gonna watch an instructional video talking about unexploded ordnances for like here on the bombing range. That's pretty easy. Then you go online, you submit the dates that you're gonna enter, the dates that you're gonna leave, just kind of let them know where on the range you're gonna be, what you're gonna be doing. And I think that's just to give them a heads up that there are people out here camping, recreating, and they're totally fine with that. And then once you come into the National Wildlife Refuge, we filled out a little form that just confirmed. We use those same confirmation numbers, we put it on a paper form, submit that in a little iron box, and we kept going. So this is all pretty simple stuff, but it does require a few more steps than your normal backcountry adventure. But I think this is a great trip for anybody with an appropriate vehicle. You want to make sure that you are really prepared, because back here there is no services, and a rescue or a tow would be very expensive. So make sure you have, 1, the proper vehicle, 2, a full-size spare, 3, any recovery gear you might need, max tracks, tow ropes, anything like that. We haven't needed that on this trip, thankfully. Tools, food, and water is a big one. It can get incredibly hot back here, so make sure you have proper water, shelter, and you're ready to prepare for the most difficult situation. We are all also carrying Garmin inReaches in case we need to contact the outside world. And then I also have my Starlink, which is actually kind of originally just for internet, but it is a great form of communication. It allows us to make calls or just send messages or whatever we need to do. Look up satellite data online, update maps. Starlink has been an incredible tool for these types of trips. Other than that, just come back, stay on the trail, pack out your trash, pack out your poop, and have a great trip. It is wonderful back here. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps our channel grow. Smash the bell while you're at it. That'll give you notifications of when our next videos are coming online. Well, I'm sure glad they didn't blast this thing to smithereens. This is pretty... It's pretty funny. The sun is out. We're all cooking up breakfast. I'm doing pesto egg sandwiches here. Adam's over here. He's got kind of a version of a pesto egg sandwich with salmon and some veggies. And then George is over here. Let's see. George is making bacon. We all have our little induction stoves, and we're cooking away on our porches. Pretty awesome. I love cooking outside on these flip out tables. It's just a great experience if it's a nice day and it's not too windy or not too cold or not too hot. But works great. Egg sandwiches coming right up. Our map shows that there's a series of springs up here. They're in this ravine. We're gonna walk over from camp and just check them out. It's a nice hike so far. This place is just gorgeous. Warming up.
Yeah, it's so nice. So nice.
This must be it. Right up in there, there's probably some potholes that hold this water. All right, we found the water. We're at the very bottom of the spring. It's a little murky. I don't know how tempted I am to jump in for a swim, but it is a beautiful place, and it comes down this cascading canyon, and we can only help to imagine that there's going to be a bunch more pools like this, probably with better water the higher you go up. Okay, I see something pretty interesting over here on the top of this boulder that does not look natural. Oh yeah. These are ancient grinding holes. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they're basically where the ancient people would put their corn or whatever they wanted to grains, and they would grind these up with a rock and make it into some sort of a flour. But you find these all around the Southwest, and there's quite a few of them here. So don't feel like you're pressured or pigeonholed into just only going to national parks and state parks. In the West especially, there are some amazing places that are just blank spots on the map, and you would never discover them unless somebody tells you, or you just come out here and exploring like I do. So get out there, look around, see what you find. You're gonna find some amazing things. All right, now we're gonna kind of bushwhack here back to the vans. That was a good little hike. Not far at all from our camp. All right, so we left the camp. We got back to the main road, which turns out was a little confusing. We took, for a second, the El Camino del Diablo east, which isn't the route that is described in many of the descriptions that other overlanders and people have written about. It stays on that really good new double lane dirt road. And now we're back on more of a single lane dirt road that is definitely a little rougher and rocky and rutted, and it's gonna take us over this mountain range. And this is labeled as El Camino del Diablo West. Well, we've been driving what seems like hours on this terrible corrugated road. The washboard is about a foot deep and a foot apart, and it's just this awful frequency that just rattles your teeth. It's made out of sand, so it has a little bit of softness to it, but it still is just incredibly jarring. Comes and goes. Some places are worse than others. Well, we've been on the range, but this must be the no joke part of the range where they're actually actively bombing things and testing things. So we're just now seeing these signs. The road that we just came through was horrendous. It was just actually not that bad, but it was just like constant deep washboard, and it would just bounce you like crazy. We're glad to be back on this a lot smoother, nicer dirt road. Here we are wrapping up the El Camino del Diablo. We've got another 20 or so miles of this kind of terrain. But boy, this part of the El Camino del Diablo will just kind of beat you up. It's the scenery isn't that great over here. Boy, when we get to the pavement, it's gonna feel so smooth. And that's usually how I know when I've had a good off-road trip, is when I get to the pavement and I air up and you're going 65 miles an hour down the pavement, and it feels like you're just flying on glass. That's always a nice change. I can see suburbia up here. I see rooftops. I see power lines. I even see a guy on a motorized paraglider flying around. I think we're close to the blacktop.
You guys want to air up here, or do you have other things in mind? Over.
Yeah, let's air up. All right, we're gonna air up. We have made it. We're back at the blacktop. So there it is, the El Camino del Diablo. Come and check it out. Southern Arizona is a wonderful place, and I hope I see you somewhere over the horizon.